According to NHTSA.gov, distracted driving is dangerous, claiming 3,477 lives in 2015 alone. Today, I would like to inform you of the dangers of distracted driving, and would also like to leave you with some helpful tips of how to avoid this behavior in your future. First off, distracted driving costs a lot. One way that it costs is financially or monetarily. It is illegal to text and drive in all states except 4. According to drivingtest.org, in some extreme cases, license have been revoked, but there will always be a fine if you're caught or pulled over for texting and driving or for being distracted. We know here in the U.S. we don't like for people to get into our checkbooks. We don't like to be pulled over by the police, but it is their job to keep those other people out there safe from the harms that you could be committing to other people, possibly. The second thing, and the most important thing that texting while driving or being distracted while driving costs is lives. According to the CDC.gov, each day in the United States, approximately 9 people are killed and more than 1,000 are injured in crashes that are reported to involve a distracted driver. This is a very serious thing. We are out here on the roads with other people. If you have a driver's license, then you are responsible for yourself and for your vehicle, but you are also responsible to not injure those around you. That license means more than just being able to drive to another place. It means that you need to be responsible enough and remain safe enough to not injure other people or yourself. So, some things that you probably don't know about distracted driving. Distracted driving, or possibly texting while driving, is just as bad as being under the influence. According to BySociety.org, drivers who are texting while driving are 23% more likely to crash their cars. This percentage is equivalent to that of the average person who has drunk 4 beers and then began to operate a vehicle. So as we can see, texting and driving is a very serious thing that needs to be stopped, and there are a lot of campaigns out there that encourage people to stop texting and driving, and it's really important that we remove these situations from our life and we just be safer on the roads. Something else that you probably didn't know about texting and driving or being distracted while driving is that you go farther than you think. According to iSpike.org, the average speed in the U.S. is 55 miles per hour. Taking 5 seconds to read a text in this time means that the driver has traveled the length of an entire football field without looking at the road and thereby being very distracted. That is a very long distance to go, and we don't think about the impact that that can make on the cars around us and what can happen in that short amount of time. 5 seconds is a long time for something to happen. So, now that I have informed you about the serious dangers of texting and driving or being distracted while driving, I want to give you just a few helpful tips of how to improve this in your daily life, and I hope that it persuades you to change. If you are a distracted driver, that encourages you and influences you to change your habits into better habits. So, some ways to drive less distracted. These tips come from consumerreports.org. So first off, something that you can do to drive less distracted is to silence your phone. We all know that cell phones can be a great use to us, but they can also be a great nuisance in a car and a great distraction. So I really encourage you to possibly put your phone on Do Not Disturb or use an app that will turn off your phone or put it on airplane mode. Anything that you can do that will help you to not drive distracted. Second, you should map it out. Map out your route that you're planning to drive that day. If you're going on a trip, I know that I can get very confused with directions sometimes and my GPS doesn't make sense. If something like that does happen, we need to make sure that we pull over and that we are checking, that we're not checking our GPS on the road while we're driving. We need to pull over, maybe at a gas station on the side of the road, and figure out what's gone wrong and then get back on your route. And make sure we know where we're going. Thirdly, we need to groom at home. Make sure that you're not, as a female, I know it can be really hard to get ready some mornings and that you just wish that you could do it in your car, but we need to make sure that we're not putting on makeup in our car, we're not doing our hair. Boys, we don't need to be looking at ourselves in the mirror, anything like that, because that really does distract people and can cause a wreck possibly. Fourthly, we need to familiarize ourselves with the cars that we drive and the controls inside. All the new technology today, I feel like cars are just getting more and more buttons, and it's really important that we know how to work everything and that we're not looking around searching for something, searching for the volume button or anything like that, or you're knowing how to turn your blinkers on, all of those basic things. We need to make sure that we know how to do, that we know how to operate our own vehicle. And then finally, skip the drive-through. I am a big snacker. I love to snack when I'm at home, when I'm doing anything basically. I can always be eating. But we need to make sure that we're not snacking while we're driving. It's so dangerous to be holding something and driving at the same time, or trying to catch that sauce before it falls and you have to slam on your brakes because something else. That's so dangerous and can result in either yourself being injured or someone else. So I just really hope that this speech today has encouraged you not to be a distracted driver. Thank you so much.